Given the political climate set by Assad and, of course, her Kurdish identity, she didn't stand a fair chance and ended up losing on both times. Formerly, she served as the Syrian Democratic Council's representative to the European Union, and currently she is also a leadership member of the Star Congress, which promotes equality, specifically among the rights of women. Presently, she serves as the Syrian Democratic Council's representative to the United States, and she's been continuing her advocacy on behalf of Syrian Kurds and other minorities within Syria. I'm very pleased to announce the representative, Sinam Mohammad. Please come join us.
ايوار باش ومحمي بخير هاتنا سر سلام سر شعب هاتنا قال لك كيف خاشبوا يرونا في قالي مايه الكندا اللي مخابل مدخاست ام يعني بيست قال لك كردي من في الهنا لنا غاز دي بيدم كرسي ما برفالا هنا مدخاست قال لك هجمانك من زنج قال لي خام ببينا بركي روشي هوايا جيش كي زحمته اسباسي ودكم بوحمية ونهاتني وين اسباسي هوالي ماكو اورجانيزر كرييرو اف ايفنت انا زال بس بكردي بعرفهم بانجليزي بعرفهم وان شاء الله دبيدن انجليزية ها تمام از كانوا بسكن غشتر Good evening, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very welcome. I'm so honored to be here among our people and our friends in Canada. I would like to thank the organization that organized these events today. Thank you for you all. Today, really, it's a very important historical day we are going through in Syria in general and in Rojava in north of Syria in particular. You know, all of you, in 2011, when the revolution of Syria started, we in Rojava, in the north of Syria, we started to organize ourselves, organize our people, and we know that this war will not be end in 1 year or 2 years. As the other people, they expected that this will maybe finish within 6 months and everything will be okay, Assad will fall, and then these rebellions will get the authority in their hands, and it's okay. Like this they expect. But we could read what would happen, and we told them it will last years, not only 1 or 2 years. And now we are almost started the 8 years in the Syrian revolutions. 8 years. War, fighting, killing, destroying, 1 million refugees and all, 1 million of people be killed, more than 7 million refugees in all over the world, from all over Syria, and still there is conflict and fighting in all over Syria. Now, what's happening, what's going on? The people who have been called, or they named themselves as the Free Syrian Army, in the beginning we told them they are not Free Syrian Army. It is not one body. It's different groups which are radical Islamist groups. Each groups, they have their names, and these names, it gives the title of this group. Ahfad al-Ummah, Jaysh al-Islam, the Army of Islam. So from the name of these groups, you can recognize what's their aim. Unfortunately, we couldn't, as we Kurds, I'm talking in the beginning as a Kurds, we couldn't be within these groups. Why? Because they deny us as a Kurdish people. And they don't recognize us and our region, our rights. They say, we are all Syrians, Arab, Syrian Republic, Muslims, and that's all. And this is what we don't need. If we want to have the revolution, so we have to change all the system in Syria into a democratic system. And this is which we worked on, to democratize Syria. Syria is not like before, not a centralized Syria, to be decentralized Syria, pluralistic Syria, to guarantee the rights of all the people in all over Syria. As you know, Syrian is like a mosaic. Kurds, Arabs, Turkmens, Assyrian, multi-nations, multi-religions also. We have Yazidis, Muslim, Sunni, Alawi, Christians, and even Durzis. So among all these pictures, when you see, look at the picture of Syria mosaic, multi-religions, multi-nations, and you are asking for one religion, Islamic religion, and one nation, Arabic nation only. What about the other people? What about me as a Kurdish people? What about the Christian people? What about the Assyrian people? Where is their right? They told me they can guarantee their right according to the Sharia of Islam. That's what we want. Then we say to them, sorry, we will not be able to live like that. We have to change the system of Syria into a democratic system, decentralized system, pluralistic system, secularity, where we have the equal genders, where we have the rights of the women, where we have the rights of all the nations and the religions there, where we have the freedom of religions in all over Syria. If you didn't want to make like that, we would not be able to live together. And this is the democracy we want to achieve it in all over Syria. And we worked in it. So we started to contact with all the people who are living with us. Assyrian, Syriac, Turkmen, Arabs, all they are living in the same region, north and northeast and west of Syria. Some of them, they agree, but still some who have the chauvinist mentality, they will not agree. Some who have the male mentality, they don't want to have the equal genders, they will not agree. But majority of them, they say, yes, this is what we want in all over Syria. We want a democracy, we want decentralized Syria, and we ask them, we will not divide Syria. We want Syria as a federalism, democratic federalism in all over Syria, not only in the north. to be a model for all over Syria. It is not dividing Syria. It's not separating Syria. There is a unity through diversity in all over Syria. I think here in Canada you have the same. In the United States they have the same. States. In Germany, they accept it, but for us it is forbidden in our country. Why? We want to live also in peace. We want the existence of all the people, the coexistence, and we want the brotherhoods for all the people living together. So why when we ask about that, you will not accept it, while as in your countries, it is the same, system is going on. But as you know, they said, no, you are doing that because you are Kurds, you want to build a Kurdish state. And this is the challenges which we have. The first challenge is the Turkish state. They were the Turkish government. They were against us. They say, no, you are going to make a Kurdish state on our border, and we will not accept it. We are in Syria. We are not making it in Turkey. Turkey have a problem with the Kurdish issue, and even with the Turkish people also. The problem of democracy now in Turkey is there. Okay, let Turkey solve its problem inside, not exported over the borders. And this is what we ask. We are not against Turkey. We are not against the Turkish people. We are not making any threats for the Turkish people and Turkey. And we are very ready to have a good relation with our neighboring countries. Unfortunately, they will not accept. You know why? They accuse us of having ties with other organizations in Turkey and so on. It's only excuses. For instance, in Bashur, in Iraq, north of Iraq, you know, Mr. Masoud al-Barzani, the KRG, government, they declared to have the referendum for independent Kurdistan. What happened? In north of Syria, they are not ties with the PKK, or as they expected to be, always accused us in north of Syria. But Turkey, Mr. Erdogan, he was against it. He was against the referendum. And he said many, very shame words for Mr. Masoud Barzani, accusing him of many, words which he said, oh, you are not able to administrate a tribe. How are you going to administrate a state? So we are not accepting. This is Erdogan's words. So is Mr. Masoud al-Barzani related to PKK? No, only because the Kurdish issue. And the same happening in north of Syria. And this is what the first challenge. They start to support the radical Muslims groups, and after that they became the ISIS. Radical Muslim groups in 2012 in Sarikaniye, in Ras Al Ain, in north of Syria, they attacked there. They are Jabhatul Nusra and the 12 other brigades related to Al-Qaeda. They attacked our people there. And it's supported by Turkey. When we could defeat them, after that we have the other challenge, which is ISIS, Daesh. And I think everybody knows about Daesh, ISIS, what happened in Kobani, and how could we, as the people protection units, YPG, and the women protection units, YPG, could defeat ISIS in Kobani and resist there. Of course, it is at the end, it was by the help of the international coalition in counter-terrorism, led by United States. but we could defeat ISIS there. Then ISIS increased, and they came to Al-Raqqa, Deir ez-Zor, and many Syrian cities controlled large territories of Syria and started to attack us from there. And we founded the Syrian Democratic Forces, which is Arabs forces, a Syrian, like Syriac, a military council, Christians, and with the Kurds, Yapagi and Yapaji. And this is this SDF, Syrian Democratic Forces. And being supported by United States and the international coalitions. 74 or 76 countries together. They support them. And they could liberate Al-Raqqa, which is the capital city of ISIS, and they could liberate Deir ez-Zor and Manbij, most of them Arab cities, and we could liberate them in order to live in peace in our region. But Turkey still was against it. They tried to come inside Syria. They tried to stop the people in the north of Syria to have their own administration, to have their own federal system, democratic federalism. And they always accusing, oh, you are going to make a Kurdish state. It is only excuses for Turkey. And recently, everybody heard what happened in Afrin. I think Afrin is in the western side, north of Syria. The population of Afrin, it's about 95, 97, I can say also, percent, 97, they are Kurdish population. And we have Arabs, like families of Arabs, 3 families main. In 2013, 12, sorry, the population of the Arabs in Afrin, 9,000. And now, after occupation of Turkish occupation in Afrin, these Arab tribes, they come out and say, we are making half of the population of Afrin. Imagine, half. Where did they come from? I don't know. Half of the population of Afrin, they make it as an Arabs. So they are now in Afrin. They attacked in 20th of January, Turkey's army, the second biggest NATO army, attacking a small enclave in Afrin, and they are with warplanes, with tanks, with very modern technical weapons. They attack our people there. 1 million civilian people, they are living in Afrin. 1 million. 400,000, they are Arabs from the other cities who came to our place because of the conflict in their cities, like in Raqqa, in Deir ez-Zor, in Aleppo, in Damascus. They come to live in Afrin because it is a safer place. We welcome them because we know we are a part of Syria. We are welcoming our brothers and sisters. And it was safe. Afrin was safe. Safe democratic administration was there. Equal genders were there. Joint administration with the Arabs, with the Kurds, with the Assyrian are there. Freedom of religions are there. Religions is there in Afrin. And because of the ISIS, many of the Kurdish people, as a reaction, what ISIS done, they killed the people, they beheaded them, they insulted the women, they make the women as slaves, sexual slaves, being sold in the market. And for that, many of the families, they converted to Christianity. They became Christians. About 1,000 people in Afrin, and they built their own church in Afrin. And we support them. We don't have any problem with the religions. But when these people come and they attack our people, killing the civilians, more than 500 civilians being killed in Afrin by the Turkish attack with the help of the Islamist group, Syrian groups, named as the Free Syrian Army. Of course they are not. Islamist groups, they attack our region in Afrin and the city, kill the people. And after that, the people, they could resist for 2 months, really, nearly. But after that, we couldn't, because they are, attacking with the warplanes. We don't have anything to just stop it. And unfortunately, sorry to say that, with the silence of the international community, Europe, United States, Russia, Canada, everywhere there is a silence. Means all these people, they are partners in killing our people there. Otherwise they could have stopped the war planes of Turkish against our people in Afrin. But they did nothing. They were deaf, blind, and dumb. Nothing to do. Silence. Killing us in Afrin. After that, our people, they choose to run away. When these gangs enter Afrin, our people, they run away. And now they are becoming as a displaced people in everywhere, just nearby Afrin. 300,000 in Shahba region. More than 300 in Aleppo, they left. More than 100,000 in the other cities near to Afrin, which is cities related to the regime. Unfortunately, nobody take care of them. Not even one international organization, they are helping and supporting our people, displaced people there. The women, they are giving birth to babies on the roads. It's winter, it's raining, no shelters, no medicine, nothing is given to these people. And still, the silence is going on. We asked them, come and help us as a humanitarian side. You have to do your responsibility. The United Nations, they say, okay, we can send you some humanitarian aids, and you know what's happening. We are begging as if from them. You are the cause for these people to be in this situation, and you are not helping them. This is one. Another thing, now, inside Afrin, after the occupation, Turkish occupation, what's going on? They are now making the Turkish language, the Arabic language is the main language. You know. They are putting the Turkish flag in Afrin. The people who stay and they are forced to stay there, they are under the threat now. They are killing them. They are kidnapping the women and trapping the women in Afrin. Many people from inside Afrin, they called me and contacted. They say, we are not able to let our daughters come out in the streets. We are afraid. And this is the occupations of Turkey and the gangs, mercenaries, the Islamist groups who are in Afrin now. They are changing the demography of Afrin. Ethnic cleansing is going on. They replace the Kurdish people with the Arabs people coming from the other part of Syria in Afrin now. They are changing the demography there. And everybody is looking and silent again. But now, our forces, they are still in Afrin, they are hidden, and they are changing their tactical, of fighting, and they are making many operations inside Afrin, and they will not allow these people to live in peace. It's our land. The people must go back to Afrin, but they will not be able to go there. You know why? Because they will be killed. I have there 2 houses in my village, and in Afrin also I have a house. When they entered there, they asked about me and my family. And they say, okay, where is she? And now they occupied my 2 houses and make it their headquarters, terrorist headquarters, imagine. So imagine if my family now goes back to Afrin, what will happen to them? And this is what will happen for many thousands of the families in Afrin, because they were working in this administration. So for that, we are now struggling in Afrin and for all over Syria also. Afrin makes this situation very complicated. Syria, about Syria I'm talking, very complicated. We need to solve the problem. We need a political solution for all over Syria issue, and now it becomes more and more complicated. Because in a place in Afrin, these radical Islamist groups, they are there, related to Al-Qaeda, and some of them, they are members of ISIS, who flew from Al-Raqqa and Deir Zor, and then from Turkey they entered to Afrin. This is what's happening. In all over Syria, you have heard about the strike. American, English, British, and France. And they say because of the chemical use in Ghouta. But they did not move. 60 people be killed by chemicals. And even in Afrin, during the attack of Turkey, they used chemical against our people. 500 people be killed. More than 600 people been wounded. They did not move. And now they are making this strike against these people only because of Ghouta. It is a political things. We know that. But we told them many times we would like to have a solution for all over Syria. It's enough. It's enough. 8 years killing. What will happen after that? And the solution must be international, solution at the table for all over Syrian people. We as a north of Syria now, after defeating ISIS and liberating the places, Syrian cities from the Muslims, radicals group of ISIS, we are now controlling 1/4 of the territory of Syria, north of Syria, 1/4. And imagine we are not at the table of the talks, peace talk for Syria, Geneva. In Geneva, they have 8 times they made Geneva, and maybe 100 times more they will make. They will not come to any solution. Because a big part from the Syrian people, they are not there exist. And we asked them to be there. We want a solution. Political solution, we must be there to have a dialogue with all the Syrians. And we have a project of the democratic federalism project in all over Syria. This is what we need. Unity through diversity in Syria. Everywhere in the world they have such project. It's a very successful one. And in our region, they don't accept it. And now we are struggling for this. As a diplomatic, politics, everywhere. And now we, at the Syrian Democratic Council, I am the representative of the Syrian Democratic Council in the United States. We have an office there. It's officially registered there in DC. And we are working for all over Syria, for the rights of the Kurds, the Arabs, the Assyrian, the Turkmen, the Durzis, and everyone. And we will continue our struggle in order to have a federalism in all over Syria, in order to have a decentralized system for all over Syria, pluralistic system, and in order to guarantee the rights of the Kurds, the rights of the Arabs, the rights of the Assyrian, and the rights of our Kurdish issue must be solved in Syria. Otherwise, we will not have any peace in all over Syria, not in Syria only, in the Middle East. Because all this Kurdish issue is related to everywhere. In Iran, in Turkey, in Iraq, and in Syria. So if it is not solved, there will be no peace in the Middle East. This is what we are working for, and I'm looking for support from the European countries, from Canadian government, and from United States. At least if they don't want to support politically, let them support as a humanitarian side. If they are there or not even in the humanitarian side, because everybody is proud of their humanity and humanitarian issue. So let them help in this. We are looking for that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your listening. And we are busy to have the questions. Thank you.
Big thank you to the representative for excellent speech and for highlighting the situation in Syria. So the plan is to take some questions from the audience so that the community has a chance to ask the representative direct questions. For those who have questions, please put your hand up. I'll write it down. And then after the coffee break, we'll come back and we'll discuss them. Any questions? Yes?
You want to ask the question now or later?
Now, so I can write it down and then she can answer it.
Okay. She said about Membish being mostly the Arab town. But my question is, Russia, the Putin sold the Kurdish people and Afrin. And what do you think, what's USA gonna do in Membish to fighting YPG fighters there, and how it's gonna work? Do you have any idea what you think about the USA gonna do?
So what is U.S. going to do in response to Russia's actions?
No, and in Membish, because the Erdogan wants to go there.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
Mine is probably a follow-up question to hers.
Can I have
What
please
are
the
the-
names or the...
Sure. My name is Sahilde. Thank you.
Feridun, F-E-R-U-D-U-N. What are the prospects of the SDG, Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, in northern Syria towards US's involvement in Manbij with military power? We know from the media that United States is supplying some ammunition, maybe arms and so on, but they are also militarily involved in there. What are the prospects of the SDF politics in the future with respect to United States involvement?
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, my question is about Afrin's future. The first part is the way it goes now, the Russian and Turkish are not at the same line. So if Russia accept Afrin be under control of Turkish government, what is the YPG or SDF plan to liberate Afrin? That's it. I want to hear.
And next question.
Just curious about what the role of international volunteers and what you foresee that being in the future.
Sorry, again?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm curious if you could speak to the role of international volunteers in the Rojava Revolution and what the role you see international volunteers playing in the future.
Yes.
I was before that happening in Afrin. I was reading about the situation in Israel. So before this state was founded, the people there, so the are going to be attacked. So after they are founded. And so the Ben Gurion and his team was working on an air defense system against Egypt, against Jordan in this time, so 1948, and for 8 years when it was starting with the Rojava Revolution, I thought about this idea that not just Turkey but other states, other national states, they don't have any feelings for the diversity or women's rights and something like that. They will see the project of Rojava as a threat to their existence, and they will, by any chance, attack the Rojava system.
So, what's your question, sir?
I'm going to. My question is why our representative, Kurdish representative, were not working on air defense system regarding to Bashur, regarding to Rojava too. If there were air defense system, I think Afrin were not fallen.
Thank you. Yes, Kevin.
So why Kurdish in Syria thinking about the federal? There is a 22 country of Arabs. They cannot help the other Arabs in Syria. Why thinking about the state, Kurdish country? Why thinking about federal?
So why is the council thinking about the Arabs and not the Kurds? Is that your...
Yeah, she mentioned that we help. We thinking about all over the Syria. There is a 22 country Arabs. They cannot help Syrian peoples. Why Kurds with many others in Syria they want to help Arabs?
Thank you. Next question. Yes, sir.
Peki, Mustafa.
Yeah, my name is Doug. I'm with the International League of People Struggling. My question is about your relationship with the United States. The U.S. in Syria's aim seemed to have been to destabilize the regime so that their objective was regime change. And in doing that, they were at one time supporting the Free Syrian Army. Their allies have supported Al-Qaeda, Daesh forces, the Saudis in particular, and other Gulf states. U.S. is not a very trustful partner. They have their own interests and end game. And I imagine that if they had to choose between you and Turkey, they would ultimately support their NATO ally. So what's your kind of long-term vision for that relationship?
Any other questions? Next question? Probably the last question.
Okay, it's going to be very simple. Do you believe that an independent Kurdistan is a right, it's not a privilege, and the Kurds must fight for their rights, not for something else?
So you believe in independent
I'm asking
Kurdistan?
you.
Yeah,
Do
you mean like that?
Yes.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
The situation is getting very complicated in Syria. Like Trump saying they're going to leave Syria,
Russian, they want to support and keep Assad in power. Afrin is occupied by Turkey. At the end of the day, as a Kurd, are we going to get anything? Is there any hope for us? Like, you see the situation. Like, Syrians, they want to stay, get a support from Iranian, they get a support from Russia. Turkish there, Trump is trying to get out. What's going to happen? Like, there's any hope for us? Now, there's some example in neighboring country. In Iraq, Sunni, they rule Iraq. They were minority, but they ruled Iraq for a long period of time. In Iran, Farsi or Farsi group, they are also minority. Like if you compare them as a number to the Azeri or other nations, they are minority. Yes. They are still there running the country. In Syria, Alawi, they were also minority, but they are running whole Syria. Can we learn from this? What are we saying? We're going to keep Syria as a united one. Can we learn from that one? Keep Syria as a united, but we become a big part. Even if it's not the head, some part, we have a role for that one. Like this model has been studied at all. Like I'm thinking to come up with something, to not lose everything. Like even if we don't get independent Kurdistan, at least we have a role, we have a play in the rest of the city. This is a new model. I give you 3 examples. In Iran, in Iraq, how Sunni rule it. In Iran, how the Farsi they rule it. In Syria, how the Alawi rule it. Is there a chance for us in Syria as a Kurd to run whole country, but as a united and or at least be a big part of that?
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first 2 questions we got, and then after that we'll take a break, and once the coffee arrives, we'll have the break. Thank you.
The first, thank you first of all your questions. The first one is about Minbish. I mean, the lady, she asked about what can happen for Minbish, especially the Turkish is threatening to go to Minbish. You know, Minbish, it is really very complicated. First of all, Minbish, it is in the western side of Euphrates River. And the United States, they said, I'm not going to do anything in the western side. Always they are saying, we are in the eastern side of the Euphrates. We are not going to do anything in the other side. And this is their excuse. When Afrin, that time I was in the United States in Washington, I asked them to help. They say, we can't do anything in the other side, western side of the Euphrates, you know? But now, because Minbish it's controlled by the SDF, they say, no, we are concerning of it. So it is an interest, of course. Minbish, it's been threatened by Erdogan. And I think today or tomorrow they said there will be some agreement between the Turkey and United States about Minbish. And we don't know till now what kind of agreement, but they said SDF must go out of Minbish. Actually, in Minbish, it is a military council of Minbish. The people of Minbish and the military, they are there. No YPG is there. It is the military council of Minbish is there. They are protecting their city. They are from the own people of this city. They are running it. And when it happened like that, that Turkey said that time, maybe it will be, I don't know, but this is what we expect, to have some joint, like Americans, Turkish maybe, in order to stop them to invade and to come into the other side. Maybe they will be put them on the border of Minbish, and the other one will be the Americans and the military council of Minbish. And we are now waiting because I heard about something is going on for tomorrow or the after tomorrow is coming out about the agreement between the US and the Turkey. Actually, the US, they don't want to accelerate the conflict in Minbish. So they are, looking for a solution. Another questions, it is, yes, he's asking about your policy or the SDF policy in Manbij in the future of Syria, what can happen, something like that. You know, our policy, it is very clear, and it is for all over Syria, how to make a system, democratic system, even in Manbij or the other side of Manbij, the western side. So SDF will be fighting for this controlled, which is by under the control of SDF. They will be fighting there, protecting the people there, and they will go on. And today, there was a meeting even in Deir ez-Zor area, which is a tribal, most of the people there. All the tribals there, they gathered and they said, we are asking the SDF to come and liberate the other side of Deir ez-Zor, with the Euphrates side, because there is a Russian and some ISIS also are there, and always they are threatening us. So we want to live in peace. We are asking the SDF to come and liberate the area. So SDF, they are always ready to work for all over Syria and to liberate this Syria from the terrorist groups, wherever they are. This is what they are, declaring. Another questions was about, okay, let me have this question, it's maybe not, yes. This question is about the Russian and Turkey. I think Mr. he asked about that Russian, if the Russia accept the Turkey to control Afrin. This is the questions, I think. If they accept to control Afrin, so what could we do? Yes? This is your questions. What we are doing now, if Russia accept Turkey to stay in Afrin, we will not accept. We never accept the occupation of Afrin to be there. We will never. And this is what's happening. Our fighters are still in Afrin. They are there, and they will not allow these people to live in peace in Afrin. Every day there is an operations going on. Every day they are killing them, and they are making like guerrillas operations, not like, before, like face-to-face war, and they are not allowing them to live in peace in Afrin. We will not accept the occupation in our place. This is what we can do. We will resist, we will fight there. The only way, nothing is there, Otherwise, you have to accept this occupation. And this is one case. But we don't think that will happen, because Russian and Iranian also, they asked the Turkey to handle Afrin to the regime of Assad. Many times they asked them to do it. And Russian, when they actually give the green light for the Turkey to come and take Afrin, occupy it, it is only because of the United States, because of America. And I was there in the Russian, I meet the Russian people there. And I asked them, why are you not going to help us there? Stop the Turkish airplanes. Do you know what they said? Okay, you go to your friends America and let them help you. So that means, I told him, are you going to punish us by that? Because we have the coalition with the international coalition defeating the ISIS? You are wrong. You are not. We are not only, just having the friendship or the strategic relation with the United States. And we had also relation with Russia. So why are you against it? So it seems there is, the relations between them, we are paying the price for that. And this is what happened. So after that, after the Turkish occupation, Russian, they said, really, we didn't want this to happen. Now they are really very regret about that. So for that, they are asking Turkey to get out of Afrin and hand it to the regime of Assad. This is what's going on, actually. It is the game of states, big states in our region there. So I don't know, we will continue afterwards. Okay, thank